And fortunately, I was in a Vishaka, after we did those episodes, I was in Vishakhapattanam for a symposium on Indian antiquity, Bharatiya antiquity. I presented on Ramayana and Mahabharata. And do you know the name Dr. David Frawley? Vamadev
Yeah,
Shastri.
yeah.
Vamadev Shastri was also there, and I brought up this issue of sincere but factually incorrect research of Professor S.R. Rao, but also Professor B.B. Lal. And to my pleasant surprise, in his talk, Dr. David Frawley, who knew both of them, both of them are not there, he said that these both greats, they did a great work, wrong conclusions, they had admitted, they had taken back their statements that that was Krishna's Dwarka. But it has, the knowledge has not been disseminated into the common public. So people are still thinking S.R. Rao's Dwarka and B.B. Law's Hastinapur.
It's 2024 AD right now.
Yes.
That's 7,000 years ago.
Yes.
It sank roughly.
Yes.
Whatever, 6,500.
Right. So you must know where to look for.
But what did we find after 6,500 years?
Don't know. Pramana tashyartha pratipatte. Only we can talk of the evidence we have found. When we find new evidence, we'll discuss that,
I mean, I'm assuming even metal erodes under the water.
What roads?
Metal? Even metal must be eroding.
If it's iron, it rusts and goes away. Forget water. Even on the land, it rusts and goes away. But copper and others, they survive.
Underwater as well?
I don't know. But on the ground, definitely they survive. It creates that copper sulfate type of, morchu layer. And
natural protection.
And it doesn't rust, per se. Like iron. Yeah. So we don't know what we'll find. So why he moved from Mathura to Dwarka?
Right.
Because of the problem with Jarasandha. So finally he said, let me come to Dwarka. Now what is the benefit? See, before from Yamuna and Saraswati was drying. That was the challenge. I mean, Saraswati was still navigable, but not completely. That's why he has to use Yamuna. But now with the Dwarka, he can go from anywhere uninterrupted. And therefore, Dwarka was an extremely prosperous place. Again, Krishna, we talked about not just the philosophy, but he's living it. Vaisheshika Sutra, the definition is Yato Abhyudaya Nishreyasa Siddhi Sadharma. Dharma is that activity which leads to prosperity and ultimate good. Krishna showed it with his example. Okay, Krishna showed it with his example. He chose to go away from it. He left Mathura, which is his land, which is not worth the trouble, which many other people were not willing to do. But Krishna did it. That's one unique thing.
What was left back in Mathura?
So let's see. What happened? They had a presence, but not presence where they will fight every day with Jarasandha. After Krishna's Dwarka was gone, now I may not remember the right names, but Krishna's one of the grandson. So he was taken by Arjun and many of the Yadus, surviving Yadus, Yadu ladies, and he took them back to Hastinapur and Indraprastha. Then on, if I'm saying it correctly, on Indraprastha, on Hastinapur, Parikshit was installed as a king. And on the Indraprastha, I think the great grandson of Krishna was established there with Mathura also. I mean, Delhi and Mathura close. So they continued because of that. And by that time, Jarasandha was killed. You know who killed Jarasandha, by the way? Krishna could not defeat Jarasandha in 17 wars. Okay, even Balaram couldn't do it. Krishna took help of Bhima. The whole story is there in Mahabharata, that Bhim Arjun.
He tears the body.
Yeah.
Tears the body and throws it in two
the
separate directions.
Their duel goes on for 13-14 days and stuff like that. But Krishna has a confidence in Bhima can do it. Now Krishna himself was a wrestler. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. Krishna has killed Chanur, who is a wrestler. But when it comes to Jarasandha, Krishna says, Bhima, you do it. And not Arjun, you do it. Right? So Krishna also knew what Bhima was capable of.
What is kind of the concluding aspect that you would like to put forward for the audiences when it comes to Sri Krishna? Because we have deviated, we've gone to all sorts of places related to the Mahabharata.
Perfect.
But this is years of study you've dedicated.
The first point I want people to take away is that Krishna was a real person in the flesh and a bone who lived on this land, on this earth 7,500 years ago. He had details like any one of us has, like lived for 107 years, 108 years and so on. Did great things. looking at his intellectual biography, he was an exceptional individual. Therefore, he's called a Yuga Purush. In a one line, we can say Murares Tritiya Pantha. He was a revolutionary in everything that he did. Okay. The third part, the avatarhood, we briefly talked about it. But again, avatar is any one of us can be avatar. We will not know in our times. It's in retrospect. So if you want to become avatar, do some great things. Okay, that's the message there. But you can be avatar. And the last point I want to conclude is Krishna. There is this Krishnashtaka, okay, 8 shloka that says Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Why is a Jagat Guru? Now there are many. Shankaracharya also we call Jagat Guru. From a Sanskrit point of view, Jagat Guru, if you look at the word, it's a Shashti Tatpurush Samas, meaning the Guru of the world. That's a Shashti Tatpurush. Okay, many people from the world, I mean, he has become like a guru to the world. Is it true? Answer is yes. Bhagavad Gita, everyone is studying it around the world, not limited to India. If anyone is studying less, that is more in the India than outside. People are studying every time. So yes, he is the guru of the world. But in Sanskrit, the beauty of a Sanskrit or Sanskrit grammar, and therefore all Indian languages, instead of Shashti Tatpurush, if you take that as a something called Bahuvrihi, we will not go into the details of it, which is to say, Jagat Guru means the person who takes the world as his Guru.